What up, blessed team? How y'all doing today? I hope all is well, but most importantly, you are having a very productive day, right? Like we always talk about this. There's somebody in the grave right now that will 100% trade places with you so they can work towards your dreams, their goals, and your aspirations. So maximize every opportunity you have. It doesn't mean try to kill yourself within the 24-hour time frame, but all I'm saying is when it comes time for you to execute, you must give 190% if you can, all right? Now, as always, I hope you took the time to spend those quality moments with the people you love, right? We're talking about mom, dad, uncles, acquaintances, family members, people that really care about you. Because I know it's really hard for some of y'all to put the phone down, but your favorite content creators will not be at your funeral, including myself. So yes, of course, I want you to make sure you check in and listen to these episodes. But ultimately, I want to be honest with you. The people that really care about you are the ones that really love you, the ones around you. So take the necessary time, check in, reach out to a friend, a family member that you haven't talked to in a long time. Just say, hello, how's everything going? And in most cases, they really do appreciate those type of things. You'll be surprised because most people don't reach out to the people they care about. They're so attached to their phones that they forget that there's a whole nother world somewhere, right? So don't forget that. Maximize every one of those and spend those moments because they're here today and then they're gone today. If you forgot that, that's a quick reminder for you, right? Now, if this is your first time coming across this podcast, you're wondering like, who the hell is this guy? I'm Sam Arkoh, born and raised in Ghana. The mission of my podcast is to inspire 1 billion people, again, B, not an M, billion people to become a better version of themselves through insightful conversations about fitness, nutrition, as well as personal growth advice, right? When it comes to the fitness stuff, I like to focus more on teaching you about how to lose weight, how to build muscle. And then when it comes to nutrition, I like to teach you more about having diversity in your overall nutrition, something that's sustainable for the rest of your life, right? Because a lot of people really struggle to shop for groceries. I don't know, like that's why most people can't lose weight. And so if you are really struggling with your overall nutrition, you want to have a sustainable nutrition for the rest of your life, I got you. These are things we talk about every single week on the podcast, right? And when it comes to personal growth, we keep it very pragmatic. For those of you that don't know what that is, it simply means we keep it very practical. So after listening to one of these episodes, you are always going to learn something valuable, something that you can implement in your life. We like to keep it around habits and disciplines. And why is that the case? Because I truly believe that habits and disciplines are the foundation for any successful person. If you know one, just ask them. They'll tell you. Habits, routines, and discipline. So if you're out there right now, you want to lose weight, you want to build muscle, or overall you want to build a certain level of confidence so you can go out there and tackle your big dreams, your big aspirations, then I promise you, you found the right podcast, all right? So thank you so much for stopping by, for tuning in. We appreciate you a lot. Welcome to the Sam Arkoh team. So as many of you already seen in the title, if you're on YouTube or you on Spotify, or you're on Google Podcasts or whatever podcast platform you use, as you also in the title, we're talking about how to develop that strong self-confidence and self-esteem, right? So as I was researching for this episode, I wanted to look up the meaning of the word confidence. And I came to find out that confidence actually comes from the Latin word mean confidere, fidel, or confidential, right? And what that means is trust, which is something you're going to hear a lot throughout the whole entire episode, right? Because the truth is, if you are not confident in yourself, you might miss out on the girl that you want to get. If you're not confident in yourself, you're not going to be able to go after your big dreams and aspirations. Even something as simple as getting on camera and doing one of these episodes. If you are not confident and have the courage and that trust within, you're not going to be able to do any of these things. And the reason why I've been able to do these episodes week after week is because I trust myself that I can do it. And so one of the ways that you can trust yourself is having evidence, right? You cannot be confident in yourself or trust who you are if you don't have evidence. And we all know this, even in our own lives. If you meet someone, the only way you get to trust them is you have to have evidence. They got to show you that they're trustworthy, right? You're not just randomly going to trust people. And so when we talk about building your own self-confidence and your self-esteem, you have to establish a certain level of trust with yourself. And I wanted to get that out of the way. So for those of you that want to go look that up, I thought that was a cool word, actually. Confidential, pretty dope. But all it means is really building that level of trust with yourself. And when you build that level of trust with yourself, you're going to be able to approach that girl that you want to go talk to, right? If you are confident in yourself, you don't need validation from other people. And when you are really confident in yourself and not in material things, one thing I can tell you is that anything that you really want in life, even if you never tried it before, you are going to be able to have the courage to go after it. And so please, I hope you tune in and really pay close attention. If you need to listen to this episode twice, I don't care how many times you need to listen to this. But what I'm saying is this is going to be one of the most important episodes that we've done for this podcast, because confidence, man, it is really rooted and is the foundation for a lot of things that we do as humans. So the first thing that I believe if you start doing is going to really help you boost your overall confidence, right? And build that level of trust in yourself is you have to find a way to set very good, achievable, and celebrate your small victories, right? So how is this actually going to help you build your overall confidence? This is how you do it. When you wake up in the morning, right? It doesn't have to be anything esoteric. Take time for yourself. The best thing I recommend is actually doing it the night before. Write down a few things. Something as simple as, I am going to read 2 pages tomorrow. I am going to go to the gym at 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. Do you see what I'm saying? If you take the time to write these small goals down and you find a way to execute on these things over a sustained period of time of you doing them, you begin to build trust with yourself. You begin to tell yourself that I am the type of person that when I command myself, when I tell myself I'm going to do something, I show up and do that. And again, we're talking about trust. So the more you develop that trust with yourself, that I am this type of person that when I said I'm going to go to the gym, I do it. When I say I'm going to read a book, I do it. When I said I'm going to work on that project or that newsletter, I do it. Over time, you begin to build that inner trust, that inner confidence to say, I can do this. I can go after this. And I'm telling you, if you find a way to stay disciplined on those small little tasks, and like I said, it doesn't have to be anything too crazy. You just have to write something that is meaningful for you. And when you write down something meaningful and you find a way to keep your commitments to your commitment, you develop discipline, but most importantly, you develop that inner trust with yourself. And I'm telling you right now, people that trust themselves, that are solid and very disciplined with their daily activities, their tasks, whether it's high leverage or low leverage, these individuals have extreme level of confidence. And I truly believe this is the foundation of our confidence. You must be able to set small goals that's actually achievable. So don't go set a goal that you know you're definitely not going to get, and then you're going to feel disappointed, right? Start slow. We're talking about being a beginner, right? You want to develop that confidence to be able to do something as simple as what I'm doing. Then one of the best things you can do is set very small, achievable goals. And when you do these type of things and you find a way to execute on them, you build that trust with yourself. One of the ways that this actually helps you is that when you take the time to celebrate your wins, which is something I do all the time, right? So usually I will list all the things I want to do for the day in my calendar. And so after accomplishing each one of them, I take a moment and then use a green check and I check it. And by simply doing that, right, it makes me feel good about myself that I'm actually doing what I'm supposed to do. And it encourages me to go out there and take the next step, the next action, the next activity. So this is something that I strongly suggest. As a beginner, you find a way to write those small, important, meaningful goals. That means a lot to you. Something that will move the needle, help you get a little better. Maybe you want to lose weight. Maybe you simply want to be able to build muscle. Those small goals that you can set daily. All right, I'm going to go work on chest. I'm going to go when I'm training legs today for 30 minutes. If you find a way to do those things, but most importantly, reward yourself for doing it, you feel better about yourself, which then increase your overall confidence and your trust in who you are as a person. All right. So the next thing that's really going to help you develop your overall confidence and self-esteem is you must find a way to prioritize yourself. You must find a way to practice self-care. I cannot say this enough, right? You cannot be resourceful to anybody out there if you are not taking care of yourself. This is something that took me a long time to understand. And the one thing about prioritizing yourself that's so valuable in terms of building your confidence is whenever you take the time to work on yourself, let's say you build some very robust skill sets, you become really good at communication, for example, right? Then you are able to communicate all your ideas, your interests, or whatever you learn, and then use it to help somebody else get better. Just imagine what that will do to you. It takes your confidence to a whole new level. This is why it is valuable for you to find a way to work on yourself. If you don't work on yourself and you're not prioritizing who you are as an individual, and you're spending so much of your time on unnecessary things or prioritizing other people, then again, you're not going to be able to build these robust skill sets. And I'm telling you, when you build these skill sets and you become valuable and you become resourceful and find a way to actually help somebody out, that only increases your self-esteem. It only increases your confidence in yourself. And you're going to start saying, oh my God. So all these things that I learned, I'm able to systematically communicate these ideas to people to the point where it makes a difference in their life. You're going to go from here to here in terms of your overall confidence. For those of you that are watching on Spotify, I was making the symbol of going from the bottom to up, right? So basically, you're going to go from wherever your confidence is to a whole new level simply because now you have skill sets, you have actual disciplines that are resourceful and valuable, and you can even get to the point where you can monetize these things. Do you see where I'm going with this? One of the reasons why prioritizing yourself is also so effective is because it helps you build that inner self-worth, which is something most people lack. And the truth is, if you do not even believe in yourself, if you don't see your own self-value, and if you do not see your own somebodyness, you cannot grow your confidence. It's impossible, right? And so when you prioritize you, when you take the time to take care of your health, right? You physically look better, you get in shape, you get in the mirror, and you like the person that you see each and every day. You start believing in yourself, and then you don't need the outside validation, which is what stops a lot of people in the first place from going after the things that they really ultimately want. When you develop that self-worth from prioritizing you and working on yourself and attaining those skill sets, you look better, you feel better. Now you can share your ideas and your interests with other people to become valuable. I mean, your self-worth is going to go from here to a whole different level. It is going to be elevated as a result of you knowing that I don't need outside noises. I don't need material things to make me feel good about myself. I trust me. I love the individual that I am right now. And all of this happens as a result of you prioritizing who you are as an individual. Do not take this for granted. I think it is very, very important. All right. So moving on to the next one on here is removing and interrupting negative self-talk. I mean, I'm telling you right now, this is something that we all struggle with. So I do understand there's those stupid conversations that we tend to have with ourselves when we fail at something, when we don't do well at something. We start telling ourselves like, I'm terrible, I'm retarded, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I can't even pass this test. I've been taking this class for the last 4 years. That is not helpful at all. That's not something that's going to be a confidence booster. And so one of the ways that I tell people is that instead of saying all those things to yourself, you can start by asking, where did I go wrong? What are the things that I can do different going forward? What are some of the strategic methods, procedures that I can put in place to make sure I do not repeat the same mistake again? Instead of going out there and telling yourself, you're not smart, you are retarded, you really can't figure anything out, you can't get your money together. These things do not help elevate your overall confidence. One of the things that really can help you is take the time to go on social media and listen to some positive, motivational stuff that's really going to help you elevate your overall mood and take you from that place. Because the truth is, we all going to fail at one point. That's inevitable. And as you go higher in life, as you elevate to new levels, you have to understand that you are going to make mistakes. That's bound to happen. So you can't keep going out there telling yourself that I'm retarded, I'm dumb, I got no common sense. No, you definitely have common sense. You are way bigger than that, right? You're not your mistakes. You're not the things you do wrong. You're not your errors. It is an opportunity for you to learn from it. That way you don't repeat it again. Do you see what I'm saying? The next one on the list is seeking support from family members and loved ones. Now, how is this so vital in helping you build your overall confidence? Listen, as we go through life, no matter how successful you become, There's going to be moments where you are going to take a big hit from failing at something. So let's say you work on 7 projects and the first 6 that you did, you were successful. But the last one was your biggest project and you failed. Like that could really shatter your confidence, right? You see basketball players talk about this all the time. When you don't succeed at a playoff game or you don't really do well during a playoff series, it can really affect you in terms of your overall confidence when it comes to shooting the ball, etc. and etc. So this is something that can happen to anyone and is bound to happen to anybody that's trying to build their overall confidence as well. So when this happens, it is important to have people around you that will help elevate that confidence. You need individuals that's not going to bring you down when you are already down. You don't need people that's going to be telling you that, man, you're just terrible. Maybe you're not good at this at all. Maybe you should try something new. You don't need individuals like that. We need people in our life that we can seek support from that's going to remind us of all the success that we've had before we failed. And when you surround yourself with these individuals that you can get that level of support from, which, by the way, I think everyone should have an individual like that that's going to be there to say, hey, Sam, I know you're not doing well on your YouTube right now, but look at how far you've come from all the things you did the last 2 years. You need people that's really going to do that for you. And whenever they do that, it brings you back to the center and it helps elevate your overall confidence in yourself as an individual again. We do not need people that's going to bring us down when we're already at our lowest moment. I need people that's going to be there to remind me of all the great things that I've done, to remind me that I'm capable of more, to remind me that I might be a little doubtful right now, but I possess the right skill set and the confidence to go after my big things in my life. All right. The last one on the list that's really going to help build your overall self-esteem and your confidence, which in my opinion is actually the most important one, and everyone should take this very serious. You need to be able to step out of your comfort zone and try new things, right? This is something that is so profound. Anytime you go after something that's not familiar, anytime you go into a different territory, anytime you're trying to go after a skill set that you're not familiar with, what's going to happen is even if you have a little bit of success, right? If you have a small level of success, it is going to give you the confidence to know that, oh, you know what? I'm going to try something else. If I'm able to do this and build a muscle, if I'm able to do this and lose weight and establish those quality disciplines along the way, what makes me think that I can't get on camera and do what I'm doing right now? By the way, this is what happened to me. So that's what I mean by stepping out of your comfort zone. So of course, was I afraid in the beginning when I started to do the videos? Absolutely. Matter of fact, it took me 2 years to make the first decision to actually do my first video, which I posted on Instagram, and it's one of my worst videos. But at that time, it really did boost my confidence. And from that point, I was able to go on TikTok and do more videos. And then I finally got on YouTube to do long form content. And now we're doing the podcast. All as a result of trying something that I had never done before. Again, I was afraid. I was nervous. I was worried about what people were going to say about me. I was worried about what people are going to think about my overall ideas. And maybe my ideas weren't good at all. They probably weren't. But the truth is, the moment you take the time to try anything that's difficult, something that's challenging, that's not comfortable to you, what's going to happen is it will give you the confidence to try more difficult things. So I'm telling you, anything that you are afraid to do right now, that's actually your gateway to success. I was trying to figure out what is my next step? What should I do? And guess what? When I started doing the videos now, as a result of doing it the last 3-4 years, I have a sense of purpose. I've developed a level of passion because I've developed a level of proficiency. I've done it long enough where now it's my lifestyle. This is what I do. Do you see what I'm saying? So please find a way to go after the hard things. And you know what's actually interesting? The harder the thing that you are trying to go after, the more confident you become to try more difficult things. I mean, you really have to be aware of this. So as of today, if there is anything that you are afraid of and you know, like my heart tells me I could do it. That's how I felt in the beginning. I knew I could do videos like this. Is it challenging sometimes? Of course. But guess what? I'm never doubtful because I'm prepared. I research, I practice. And so when I get on here, I have the confidence to be able to do what I'm doing right now. I'm telling you, go after the difficult things. And one of the things that actually happens is when you go after the difficult things, it unleashes part of your DNA. There are certain things, certain traits, characteristics that you possess that's part of your DNA that you don't know right now. I didn't know I could do what I'm doing right now. I didn't know I could do a long form podcast. I didn't know I could be writing a newsletter. I never even considered myself a crazy writer like that. But as a result of doing something difficult, I've been able to do all the things I'm doing right now. And I hate to talk about myself, but I thought it would be a good example. That's really the truth. Find a way to do those things, man. Like, do the difficult things. And when you do them, it makes a difference. It gives you a lot of confidence to go after the hard things that you actually don't have the confidence to go after right now. Now, let's talk about the quote of the week. You know, it's funny because this is slowly by surely becoming one of my favorite segments of the podcast. Today's quote of the week is by Marianne Williamson. I'll put the name on the screen and y'all should go check it out too. She says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with this quote, right? Our deepest fear is that we are capable beyond measure. The second part of this quote is what I like the most. It says, it is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Like, this is so true. A lot of us, yes, of course, we are afraid of failing. You know, you probably wondering right now, Sam, but if I get on camera and I'm terrible, people are going to judge me. They're going to put bad comments. Again, we're talking about confidence. You shouldn't be worried about what people are going to say about you. They have nothing to do with your ideas. The universe gave you talents, gifts. You have to use it. I say this all the time. I feel like this is a calling for me. All the things I had to go through led me to exactly the same place. You cannot be worried about people. You cannot let fear stop you. Remember, I know fear is real, but it only exists in your mind. And so most of us, we are so afraid of success because what success does is it forces you to change. And some of us, we love the drinking so much that we don't even want to go after the big dreams because it's going to force you and you might have to stop drinking 5 times a week. Some of you, it might stop you from partying every single weekend. And so therefore, you don't really have the courage to go out there and pursue those things. So Marianne Williamson said, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. It's not that you're not good enough, or it's not that you can't get better, because you are an adaptation machine. You can learn anything that you want. The problem is you are scared of being successful, which is going to force you to maybe let go of some of your friends. So this is what I want to tell you right now. If you listen to this point in the episode, please don't let fear stop you. I was afraid when I did my first video. I mean, I'm talking about I was nervous. I was shaking. And that was like a 14-second episode video on Instagram. But when you do it while you're still scared, you discover things about yourself. I say this all the time. You will discover some part of your DNA that you're not aware of. And so do not let the fear stop you. Yes, when you become successful, it's going to change you, but that change is great. The change is good for legacy. That change is good for people around you. If you took the time to make sure that you do whatever you can to set those small goals and find a way to keep your commitments, if you find a way to prioritize yourself, work on those skill sets, get better at communication, get better at reading, get better at writing, and you become resourceful to other people, you're going to build your confidence. If you seek the support from the right people that's going to be there to elevate you in the times where you are in your lowest moments. If you do all these things, I'm telling you, you are going to build your overall confidence. But most importantly, if you take the time to do things out of the comfort zone, your confidence is going to go to a whole new level. It's going to push you to try even bigger things. Maybe some of you, it's as simple as maybe graduating high school, and then you will have the courage to go to college. And then when you graduate college, you can go for your master's. Apply these things. And I know if you do, I'm telling you, it's going to be resourceful. I know if you do, it's going to transform your life. You will have that paradigm shift, because that's what happened to me. That's why I'm talking about these things right now. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment below. Let me know what resonated with you. I really would love to know some of these things. And definitely take the time to share the episode with somebody that actually could use it. We all know a friend that's not as confident. We all know someone around us that's not as confident. If you give them these guidelines and tips and they actually follow it, it is absolutely going to make a big difference. Stay blessed, but most importantly, stay out of trouble. Like I say this all the time, but it's not a joke. Stay out of trouble. It doesn't mean don't try difficult things. I'm just saying there are things you're not supposed to do. If you want to keep evolving, getting better, then there are certain things you just simply can't do. Stop doing it.